there we are. Is it going? It's not. There we go. Now it's moving. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is well. So, couple things. I'm just going to go ahead and bask in the glory of the Dallas Cowboys. Woo! All you Cowboy haters, how you like me now? Oh my, yes, they took care of business, went to Washington and took care of business like they should have. See, here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. With with the Cowboys, when they go and they beat a team that they're supposed to beat, they go, well, they were supposed to beat that team. It's crazy. But all I know is I'm very happy. Cowboys win the division, and Philly lost again. They've fallen apart last 5 weeks of the season. I don't know what happened to Philadelphia. Crazy. But anyway, really, really happy. I was actually just watching the highlights of the game. So yeah, it was very, very, very fun. So anyway, before we jump into anything, I would like to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. Please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, then those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches, they are going to boot you out of here, or boot you out of here. Okie Ford says yes, but the Cowboys face the Packers next week. Yeah, at home. Yeah, and your point is what? They're in the playoffs. They got a home game. They if they take care of business, they'll have the second home game. And if San Francisco wins, they'd have to go to San Francisco, to make the Super Bowl. But anything can happen in the playoffs, folks, as we all know. Anything can happen in the playoffs. But yeah, go pack. I'll give you a go pack. So anyway, I wanted to real quick. I wanted to make mention of something, and I'm gonna pull it up here real quick. All right, let's see. Okay, um, just wanted to let you know. So there is a lady that's been following the channel for a long time from New Zealand. She goes by Music Mad. That is her name. So her real name, I'm just going to give you her first real name, and that is Liz. Okay. She lost her husband last year to he passed away last year, and she's one of the ones that sent me just so you guys know who I'm talking about. She sent me a great big box of soap, all these different soaps she had sent me some time ago, and unfortunately for her, she has just been diagnosed with cancer, and it's throughout her whole body. And so I just wanted to really quickly, uh, you know, give a little shout out to her. If you guys, of course, all of you that pray, I would ask you to keep her in your prayers. Just a decent human being, and you want to talk about being handed a crappy hand, so. But yeah, that's what's happening there. So I just wanted to say, Liz, I'm thinking about you, hon, and you are definitely going to be in my thoughts. Not a good thing at all. So I just wanted to, and I didn't have to put that out here, guys. But I don't always put those type of things out here. But she's been a long time subscriber. She's been following the channel for years and years, and it just sucks. That just sucks because that's not a good thing at all. So, but just wanted to share that with all you guys. All right, so what we're going to be talking about is overcoming obstacles, overcoming adversity, overcoming problems. And I think what a lot of people lose sight of, every one of us, everybody on here, everybody that is a prepper on here, they, you know, they're overcoming something. I mean, guys, look at JJ. I mean, you want to talk about being handed a crap deal this last year. He got handed a crap deal this last year, not fun at all. And but he's still with us, which is awesome. And he's not giving up hope, and that's the importance of him. So overcoming adversities, it really always shows what your character is. It really really does show what your character is. Things happen, not always pleasant, not always fun, and it's how we deal with those things that you know define us. It lets us know what kind of people we are. I know that you know when I I mean, literally the day before we moved to the new property in New York, I found out that I had cancer. Not a fun, pleasant thing. And I'll tell you what, I just anybody that gets that diagnosis, if you've never had that, if you've never had cancer, I'm very happy for you because it's not fun. But when you get that diagnosis, nothing will scare the crap out of you more than that. I can tell you, it'll knock the wind out of your sails. Because when it happened with me, it sure did. But then I was like, okay, JJ, you're a stubborn mule. That's why you're still here. Exactly. Yeah, and again, it is your mindset. It's your determination. And like I said, I just like I told my cancer doc at the time. I said I ain't going anywhere. I got too much stuff to do yet. I mean, my kids were 13 years old at the time. Um, you know, I will never ever forget two things from that. Once I was diagnosed, obviously you're dealing with that situation, and I remember two things very very clearly. My daughter went on social media and she was like, oh my God, my dad has cancer. Why him? And my first reaction to that was, why not me? Why am I so special that I shouldn't have something? You know what I mean? So, but I understood where she was coming from. She's coming from a child concerned about her father and, and stuff like that. And I remember her saying to me, oh my God, Dad, if something happens to you, we're going to have to go with mom. And I told her, I'll never forget. I told her, I said, don't you worry. I said, I'm not going anywhere. And, so that will to live is very strong in all of us. And even those people will say, oh, well, I would just rather this or just, talk is cheap to me, talk and squat. I have seen people that fought to the last breath to stay alive. Okay. Being a nurse, I have watched several people take their last breath. I've seen it firsthand. And, it's like, but that will to live was still there. They didn't want to die, they wanted to stay. And, it's just, but it's how you deal with the situation. When the cards are stacked against you, and if they say you're terminal and you got 6 months, you know, and here's the other thing that I will tell you about that situation. For me personally, I can't speak for other cancer survivors. I can't speak for other people that have been given a diagnosis like JJ, what he dealt with this last year. But I know from my own personal experience, when that type of situation happens, it makes you take a good, hard look at yourself, your life, your choices, what you're doing, what you want to do. Because all of a sudden, your priorities are going to change, folks. I will tell you that right now. They change. And to me, making sure I was spending time with the people that I wanted to spend time with, because you never know. I mean, you look at the number of people that go in for surgery and don't come out. That was honestly, I'll be honest with you, that was my biggest concern. Okay, I'm going under, they're going to put me out. Am I going to wake back up? Well, obviously, when I woke back up, I was pretty happy about that. So, and I was very fortunate. I had a cancer that was very treatable and very rare cancer. 1 in a million people get the kind of cancer that I got. And yeah, it's a major attitude adjustment. It really, really, truly is. And that's awesome for saying that. It really refocuses you. What are your priorities? And I'll never forget this. So when I let everybody on YouTube know, you know, this is what I'm dealing with. And people were like, "Oh, well, maybe you need to change your plans, and you need to take a pause." And I'm like, "Absolutely not, no way." I remember at the time, Um, I remember at the time saying it was a bump in the road, and people were like, "Holy crap, that's some kind of bump." But to me, it was like it was a stumbling block that we had to deal with. We got through it, and now you move on. And like with JJ, I know JJ is, and I keep referring to JJ, and I don't mean to pick on JJ, but he went through a lot last year. And his goal is to get out of Florida and get up to Tennessee. That's where he wants to be, and he has property in Tennessee. And so, obviously he has things to deal with before he can make that move. And, and he's got I'm his cheerleader, if you will. I'm going to be back there cheering him the whole way because I know he's going to be able to do it. Uh, they wouldn't tell my husband how long he has, taking it one day at a time. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. Now I'll tell you what, I've seen people that were diagnosed, and they gave them, you know, 6 months, a year, and they lived 3, 4, 5 years, beyond that date. It really comes up down to, eventually the cancer is going to win. There's nothing that you're gonna try to do everything you can to fight it. A lot of it is your will to live, and your wanting to be around for whatever reason. Okay. I'll give you another example of something that happened. Um, a buddy of mine, his wife ended up getting cancer. Well, she got the first time she got cancer was breast cancer, and so she went radical and had a double mastectomy done because she was like, her mom had died of cancer, and so there was a lot of things with that, and so she said, I'm not going to take any chances. I want it to be gone and not come back. Well, then what ended up happening? She had years later. She was home, and uh, I'm trying to think the sequence of how it happened. So first of all, she had a heart attack. Had a heart attack first. They put her in a hospital. While she was in the hospital, she ended up having a stroke, and then she had a stroke. They had sent her to rehab, and she was in rehab. And I remember going and visit her, and she couldn't even talk. She was trying to talk, but she couldn't talk. One of those kind of deals. Well, while she was at the rehab, they found out that the cancer was back, and it was completely through her body. And so she was basically taken from rehab, put into hospice. Within a matter of, I think it was 3 weeks, she was dead. So just a horrible, horrible thing. Again, like one thing after another with for the poor woman. And I remember, and again, Heather was much younger at the time. And I remember at the time, Heather had said to me, "I want to go see Suzanne." And I said, "Honey," and because I went and saw her just before she died. And I said, "I'm not going to take you to the hospital to see Suzanne." And she was like, "Well, how come?" I said, "I want you to remember Suzanne the way she was, not what she looks like right now." And as a child, it's quite dramatic, for them to see that type of thing, and it's scary. And so I didn't want her last memory of this person that she respected and really liked, to be on her deathbed and looking like she did at that point in time. Just tough. And she had held on, and this is this is the things that happens with people. Her brother had gone on vacation, and he was gone. It's scary for adults. Don said, "Yeah, well, yeah, it's much more impactful, I think, on children, and it's just not in a good way. So if you can insulate and protect them from that, I think that is a good thing. But anyway, what ended up happening with that situation was, her brother had gone on vacation, and then she got put into hospice, and she held on until he came back, from his vacation, and he went up to see her, and then she passed away like hours after he had come to visit. So you don't know why they're holding on. Why are they? Why haven't they let go yet? I'll give you another great example of something like that. That it drove me nuts. Drove me nuts. So when my dad was married to his third wife. Okay. Um, he loved her to death, and she was just not she wasn't a nice person. I'm not going to sit here and bash her on here. I'm just going to say she was not a nice person, and for many reasons, I dislike this woman quite a bit. And so, Dad had, up to 3 months before he died, he was still working part time, still living on his own, still driving. Went into the hospital in December, spent a month of December in the hospital, and then from there they put him into a nursing home. I was made his power of attorney at that point, and he was having kidney failure. And I asked him what he wanted, and he said, "I don't want any extenuating anything. I just, and I said, okay." And so what I had said to the nursing home was, listen, as he progressively gets worse, his kidneys are shutting down. I said, just keep him comfortable. That's all I care about. It's all I cared about. Well, he kept waiting for her, his ex-wife, to come and visit him. And she hadn't come, and she hadn't come. And then, he had taken a turn for the worst. And I will never forget this, because this is, again, it drove me crazy. So me and my one sister would go. Like I had Tuesdays off, so I would go on Tuesdays, and then she would go like on Saturday, to visit Dad. And she had said she had called me after she had visited him on the Saturday, and she said, "Man, Dad looks great. He really bounced back. I think he's getting better." And I went, "Oh, Margie." I said, "No, hon, no." Just before they go, they bounce back. But I guess what ended up happening was that weekend, um, just like he died on the Tuesday. He died on the Tuesday, and that weekend, she finally went and saw him, and he was holding on and waiting for her to come and see him. And this is what people do. There is somebody out there that they are waiting for, that they want to see before they go, and they will be in like the worst possible shape that they could be, but they'll hold on because they want to see that one person in their mind, whoever it is. And then after that person comes, then they go. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's just here. Yeah, right, Miss Hella. Um, Here's the thing I want to encourage you all, okay? Everybody evaluate yourselves. What are you doing? What are your goals in life? Who do you want to spend that time with? I just read an article, and it was very, very telling to me, okay? It said by the time your children are 12 years old, you have spent 75% of all the time you're going to spend with them in their life. By the time your child is 18, you will have spent 90% of the time that you are going to spend with your children in your life. And to me, that's really telling, because, and it's realistic, because your kids grow up, they leave. Oh, you love the shirt. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. I'll show you guys. They grow up, they leave. Got my wolves on here. Uh, and they're gone, and they're living their lives, and they get caught up in their own things, and you don't see them like you used to see them. And so I get that, and it's tough, but that's, unfortunately, it's part of life. And now there's exceptions to the rules, obviously. Some people spend a lot more time with their loved ones and stuff like that, but the normal thing is that you don't. It just, that's the normal thing. And but again, what I would encourage you with saying that statement, if you have children, anybody on here that's younger that has children at home, I'll tell you, every time I'm out in public and I see somebody with little kids, I will say to them, cherish these moments. You may be like losing your mind, right? Especially when they're like losing their mind and it's chaos and it's insanity. I said, I want you to remember something. And I always tell people the same thing. I said, I want you to remember something. One day you're going to miss this. And it is so true. So true, because it's like that time goes, and they grow, and they have their lives, and they meet their significant other, and they want to spend their time with them. They don't want to spend it with you, and that's part of the journey that we all go through. And so I just want you all, I want to encourage you all to reevaluate what's really important. chasing that golden ring on the hamster wheel, right? Trying to keep up with the Joneses and have the big house and the cars and all the bells and whistles. Is that really important? The only thing, and this is another thing that I say to people all the time, the one thing that you're never going to get back, my friends, the one thing you're never ever going to get back, and that's time, because yesterday is done and gone. All that behind you is over with. It's done. What you have complete and total control over is right now and moving forward. And so, you know, what are you doing with that time? How are you spending that time? Are you making sure that you are taking that time to spend it with the people that you love and that you care about and that love you and care about you? Are you doing that? You know what I mean? So it's just that's, like I said, it's the one thing you're never getting back is time. And so what you're doing with that time is so important. Neighbor Bob, Ed, do you have any regrets with the time that you have lost? I think we all have regrets, Neighbor Bob. That's a great question, to be honest with you. I think everybody has regrets. If I could go back and have done a few things differently, I sure would have. Okay. Absolutely would have. But at the same time, what I've experienced in my life has led me to where I'm at now and doing what I want to do now. And, you sometimes it takes time to figure out what you want to do and what your priorities are and what's important. I know, like for me, you know, I'll give you a great, and I like to use myself because it's like so ridiculously true. So the first 10 years of my kid's life, okay, I worked all the time. I worked 6 days a week, all the time. I worked the equivalent of what somebody working a 40-hour week does in 10 years. I worked 15 years of time that a person normally just doing 40 hours a week would do in 10 years. I did that, so I did the equivalent of 15 years in that time. But my priority was to take care of my family. I had kids, I had my stepson, I had my wife. That was my priority. Okay, that was my priority. And but what I always did, I will tell you this right now, what I always did when I had the Sundays off, Sunday was always family day. I said, we're going to do something as a family. And so, we would make plans and we would go, and even if it was just to go out to get something to eat, to spend that quality time together. I was fortunate enough for a lot of that time. I was able to come home. I was working, 10-hour days. I worked from 8 to 6, and I would be able to get home and help give the kids baths, make sure they ate, get them tucked into bed, give them their hugs and kisses good night. So I was able to do all that, but I lost a lot of time because I was working all the time. Well, when their mom decided to bail, and then it was just me and the kids, I really looked at things. I sat down and I looked at things and I said, okay, what's important? And what was important was those kids, and they were always important. But I just at that point in time is when I realized I got to spend as much time with these guys as I can, because they're 10 and the time's going to blast by, and it did. But we made some great memories and we did a lot of really good things. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I don't want you to think it's not what I'm trying to do. Um, but to me, it was like I realized what my priorities were, and I focused on that. And it wasn't it. Once here's different perspective. Exactly, awesome sauce. When my Before my kids were born, okay, I'll put it like this: before my kids were born, it was about me. It was about my needs, what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, how I wanted to spend my time. When my kids were born, my priorities changed completely because it became about them. It wasn't about me anymore. It was about them, they were always my priority. But cutting back on the number of hours that I was working and spending more time with them was more important to me at that point. Moving forward. But that's just my take on it. But again, I would encourage you all, if you have kids at home, and they're younger still and they're still home, spend as much time with them. Spend as much time with them as you can. Do things, make memories, do things that they'll remember. Okay, um, so important. It really, really is. It's weird. As we get older, it's like, well, you get more mellow with age, which I think is true to a degree, but you have that life experience and you see things and you can look at the perspective of things, and help try to guide and educate people. I think is important to do that as well. But I've uh, those kids won't wear the paper Burger King crowns for long. No, that's for sure, Nettie Prepper. They sure will not. Yep, that is for sure. But I just every moment that I got with my children was a blessing. It's the way I looked at it. When their mom didn't come for a weekend to take the kids, I was like, cool, no problem. I'll keep them. I mean, but it's just that's what it should be about. But and I know a lot of people don't have those priorities or they're different. Whatever they want to do, they can do. But to me, it's just it's I knew where my priorities were and I made sure I always took care of them. And then once the kids were grown and they were gone, and then I really wanted to get out of New York, and I thought about it for a while and made my plans. Um, Buried one of my children. Love every moment you have. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's got to be. I can't even say I know how you feel because I don't ever want to know how you feel. But it's a horrible thing to bury your children before you go, because they're supposed to outlive us. So I'm so sorry to hear that. But yeah, I'll tell you what. I talk with Heather every day. I don't talk with Eddie every day, but I still talk with him here and there. But I speak with Heather every single day. We talk always, and it is interesting. But again, you know, challenges are going to come in life, folks. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's always going to be the next obstacle in the way, the next challenge, the next hurdle that you're going to have to get over, and you have to make those decisions. You know, am I going to fight or am I going to quit? And I've never had any quit in me. I just, I'm I'm like a mule, I guess, in a way. If I dig my heels in, especially if I dig my heels in and say, nope, this is what I'm doing, there's not anything that's going to dissuade me off that path. And I think that that's just kind of the way it is. But so something else I want to talk about today. I don't know if you guys saw this in the news. The DOJ, the Department of Justice, just announced, and tell me, I mean, really, and I was amazed to hear this, but the DOJ said that not so they've gone after all these people that were in the Capitol building, right? We already all know that. Now they're saying the people that were outside the Capitol building, they're going to go after them. What are they going to charge them with? The ones that didn't go in. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So you had a group of people that spent months all around the country, months burning, looting, attacking federal officers, attacking innocent people, setting things on fire, all kinds of nonsense. But yet you're going to go after these people. It is amazing to me. So again, I don't know what they're going to try to charge them with, but I did see that information come out, and I just, I thought I would share it with you guys because I was just again like, you got to be kidding me. So we got 349 in the chat, guys. We got 183 thumbs up. Yeah, more wasted taxpayer money. Exactly, JJ. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel. I really do appreciate it. It really does make a big difference with the algorithms as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you all to please subscribe as well. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well, and I thank you ahead of time. So, but Jason was there on January 6th. It depends on where he was, neighbor Bob. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, but how many times you get back on your feet. Here's some food for the chickens. Thank you, Asif. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yep. And now we're what 15 minutes away from egg count time too. But yeah, it's actually snowing outside right now. Um, Here's something I had a conversation with one of my members today, and I'm not going to say which one, but we were having this discussion, and this just goes to show the lunacy of both sides, guys. Okay, because it does happen on both sides, but in this case, I will explain in a second. So the building that he lives in, there are people that live in the building that do work for other people in the building, like handymen type of things and stuff like that. Well, he needed to have some work done, and the guy had come in, looked at his, what he needed to do, and all this type of stuff. Well, he had some literature out, and that he was reading articles and books, if you will, and stuff like that. And so he talked to this guy, and he said, about coming to do this work. And the guy said, I'm not going to do any work for you. And he goes, why not? And this guy told him, because you are a right wing fanatic, or, lunatic type of thing. And he's obviously very Democrat and liberal leaning. And so he said, I'm not going to do the job for you because that's your politics. And what he said to him was, and I thought this was interesting. He's like, well, why would my politics have anything to do with you working for me? Right? It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. But this person, based on the fact, and he accused him of being a right wing, right wing extremist. That's what it was, right wing extremist. He accused him of being, not that he was, because he's not, but he accused him of being a right wing extremist because of the literature that he had around his house. And this guy who said, nope, I won't work for you. So he basically throws away the job and the money. And because, this gentleman who is, one of the members of my group doesn't think exactly like he does. I, I don't get that. I think it's insane. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever that people have that kind of mindset. It really doesn't. Because I'll tell you what, I honestly, I try to treat everybody with respect. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what you believe or don't believe. You know, you have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. I have the right to believe what I want to believe. That doesn't mean that we can't get along, and that I can't do work for you because you're of a different political mindset than me. I mean, that is just insane, but it happens, folks, and it's happening quite a bit. So what it's come down to, in a way, us and them, right? And I hate that. I hate that. I think it's counterproductive. It doesn't help anything. And so he was like, screw him, you know. Yeah, that fellow wouldn't get much work around here. Well, down there he gets plenty, you know. Yeah, politics have become poisonous to many nowadays. You're right. I mean, we've talked about this before. People on Facebook. If you don't follow the mantra of what they believe, then you're the bad guy, and they'll unfriend you. Well, if that's what you feel, then go ahead. See you later, because you weren't much of a friend in the first place anyway. That's the way I look at it. It's just craziness. I don't know if you guys saw this again, that North Korea, for like the third day in a row, was doing shelling in that one area. I guess they're shelling into the buffer zone area, so they're not actually firing into South Korea, but they're firing into the buffer, which makes no sense to me at all. Andy Man must be watching TV news. Yeah, exactly. Who knows? Who knows? But I just, yeah, the demilitarized zone. Yes. Yep. Okie Forge. Yep. So that buffer area. But I just don't get that either. I just don't understand the games that are being played. it's just what happened. You know, on a brighter note, how about them Cowboys? Yes, indeed, neighbor Bob. I talked about that first thing actually. Very, very happy for my boys. You know, won the division. They're the number 2 seed in the NFC or NFC. Not the AFC. They're in the NFC. So, but yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, hopefully your Bills win today and they win the division over there for them. That would be good. But like I said, life is interesting. I don't. The division is terrible with things. It's just it is absolutely terrible, and I don't understand why people can't respect each other. I don't understand that. You know, you don't have to agree with somebody to be friends with them. You know what I mean? Like these people on here, JJ talking about Steeler Nation. He's dead wrong, of course, but I still like JJ. See, that's the thing. That with the rivalry with sports is awesome. I love that as well. I honestly do. It's a lot of fun. You know, you have your team. You root for your team. You know, and I've been a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan since I was 9 years old. That's not going to change. I've been a diehard New York Yankees fan since I was 9 years old. That's not going to change. So it just even if they sucked year after year after year, then I'm a Patriot fan. Well, good for you, man. You guys had a great run, Sharon. You guys had a great run. Yep, you can't beat that. What they did was awesome. What, 6 Super Bowls and 9 tries in a very short period of time. They were the dominant team. They absolutely were the dominant team. But they had the goat. They had the goat on their team. So Kathy says Raider Nation fan since 1980, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's you gotta root for your guys. So I think the Cowboys got to play the Packers. Yes. Yep. So and if they win that game, then obviously they'll get another home game, and then we'll see what happens with San Francisco. I think San Francisco. Um, I'll tell you in that division, guys, and I'm not just saying this, but in that division, I'll tell you what team you need to watch out for in the playoffs, and that's the Rams. The Rams have been playing at a very, very high level. Uh, they could do, and they would end up playing if the Rams win the first game in the playoffs. They would go on and they would play. They would end up playing. I think San Francisco. I think I don't know. We have to see how that all shook out, but yeah. So yeah, Packers at the Cowboy, Rams are at the Lions, and the Eagles are at the Buccaneers. Okay, yeah. So and then if the Rams and then the Bucks won, or it really depends. We have to see how. I'm not going to speculate what it would be, but whoever's got to play the Rams in the playoffs, um, Dallas always chokes in the playoffs. You know what, Larry? I seem to remember there's a whole bunch of trophies down in Dallas, and I know you guys are going to say, "Oh, they haven't won a Super Bowl since blah blah blah." That's okay. They still won them. They still won them, so they got the trophies, but that's okay. Talk about death in sports, and we get no trolls, Robert. That's funny. That is funny. But too funny. But yeah, it's just again, like I said, I like sports. Not going to stop watching sports. That's just the way it is. If you want to not watch sports, then don't watch it. That's fine. If that's your protest, knock yourself out. I'll be honest with you. I think any player that takes a knee should be fined big time the first time they do it. If they do it a second time, then they get suspended. You know, so that's just me. Have I ever seen a game? I've only been down to Dallas one time. I was actually going to Puerto Vallarta, But yeah, that was the only time I've ever been in Dallas. Was we had a layover at the airport, and then we flew on to Puerto Vallarta. But yeah, I would like to. I'd love to go down there and watch a Cowboy game in Dallas. That would be awesome. That would absolutely be awesome. So, Larry, if your stream's freezing, sign out and then sign back in. That would be the best way to deal with that. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about originally, adversity, roadblocks, things happening in our lives, those things are going to continue to happen. You will see a lot of people in life that will make excuses of why they didn't do this or why they didn't do that. Because, like, one of my favorites is, what, mommy didn't hold you enough as a baby. You know, they always have an excuse of why they never accomplished anything. It's always somebody else's fault, and and all those type of things. And I just, I hate those excuses, and I hate when people use those excuses because, again, you, whoever it is watching out there, have complete and total control over your own destiny. If you grew up in a bad neighborhood, if you grew up in a bad environment, that doesn't mean you have to follow that same pattern in your life. You can make a choice and you can change things. And I think that that is important to do so. And it's what we decide that we're going to do. And it's like I've told you guys, I was an absolutely wild child. They could not control me. Nobody could tell me what to do. I did what I wanted, realistically, and that was just the way it was. And in looking back, what I realized, honestly, is I wanted somebody to lock me down and say, nope, this is it. These are the rules. Because when you have rules and there's boundaries and there's structure, kids feel safe. They feel safe when you have those things. And when you don't have those things, that's why you get kids that act, out and are brats and do bad things or whatever the case may be. And so I'll tell you, from my own perspective, I did everything the wrong way. And I'll tell you, and I did everything the hard way. That's just always the way that I did things. Um, I will tell you, I pulled my head out of my butt at 27. That's when I look. That's when I first sat down, took a good hard look at myself, and didn't like what I saw, and decided to do something about it. And so, that was kind of like a catalyst for me. And I made some changes in my life, and after that things got better. It's amazing how that works. And I think I've had a pretty successful life. I mean, am I filthy stinking rich? No, but that's not, to me, that's not what it's about. It's not about how much money I have in the bank and all that type of stuff. It's my relationships with people. You know, did you ever get into it with any drill sergeant during basic? Absolutely not, JJ. I tried to keep a low profile as much as I could. Now I had a couple of things happen where I got dogged out, but man, I'll tell you what, I tried to keep a low profile. I didn't want no confrontation with those guys. You know, I was a scared kid. I was scared to death. Those guys scared the crap out of me. And then I'll never forget. After I did basic and AIT, and I got to my first station, I ended up doing working as a hometown recruiter's aide for 6 weeks back home, and it was like, so I go in with, I'm a E5s, E6s, they're all, and I'm all like, having that mindset, and they're like, all right, you can chill out now. It's all right. It's all right. You can relax. And it was funny because you think it's going to be that crazy intensity that whole time. So you have land, a dog, children, not much better than that in life. I agree. Forest Ghost preparedness. I have the things that I need. I have the love of my family. I have people that care about me. I got my family that comes down here once a month. And and we got a great thing going on down here, and it's nice to be part of something where we have a positive outlook and we have a positive mindset with it. So, can I help you? Yes. She's a big baby. All right. What do we at? 278 in the chat. We're at 223 on the thumbs up, guys. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up, I appreciate if you would do that. Also, it really makes a big difference with the algorithms as well. So the more interaction that we have, the better. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So we're going to do the egg count in just a second. Wait till I give you the signal. But I was going to say this as well. You have Hella, get out of there. Um, you look at all the people in Hollywood, filthy, stinking rich, and so many of them are miserable. They're miserable. You know, happiness is not about money. It's what you do that enhances life and make life better and try to hopefully have a more positive impact on other people. So that's just my take on it. Okay, let's do the egg count here. How many eggs today? And yes or no for the white hen. So guys, go ahead and start right now, and we will go from there. And I'll give you a moment to get your guesses up here, and we will see what everybody has to say. What do you think? Give you guys another moment. All right, we finally. I thought today would be interesting because I was like, there's no way nobody's guessing this right today. But we finally have a correct guess. Dana, let's prep with 5 eggs today. And yes, the white hen did lay just a good day. I was like, wow, look at these guys today. I said, people are going to be like, there's no way people are guessing right. So that's why I kept watching. I kept watching and waiting and waiting and waiting. And the right answer wasn't coming up. Then Mary Nige, you come in second because you said 5 and yes as well. We did have somebody that say 7. So I'd like to know how you get 7 eggs out of 6 chickens or 6 hens. But whatever. But yeah, so yeah, it's and you got to remember, guys, it wasn't warm today. I think our high temperature today was 32, 33 degrees. So for 5 of the 6 hens to lay today, I'm like, all right, nothing wrong with that. So, but so anyway, that's what we got. So you've won nothing, and you are happy. So there we are. Uh, and I got to tell you, they have been very consistent. A lot of days with 3. It's been 3 a lot of days, and but I have one hen. Every egg she lays, it's a big egg. It is a big egg, and I think it's got to be Wheezy that does that one. She's a big hen. She is a big hen. So maybe your rooster identifies as a hen. I'm gonna say no, because I see what he does in the hen yard. So I do not believe that he identifies as a hen. Uh, but anyway, so but again, life honestly, folks, is what you make it. It's the choices that you make. It can be decent, it can be miserable. It's what you put into it and what you want to get out of it. And the other thing with that, and here's the thing that I'm going to say. I'm gonna. Here's a question that I have. If you guys have hopes and dreams that you want to accomplish, that you want to do, okay, something positive for yourself, for your family, whatever the case may be. So the question that I have, if you have those type of aspirations, what are you doing to make them happen? And that's a legitimate question. What are you doing to make those things happen? Because if you just have that aspiration and are not having a game plan and not putting that forward to make it happen, it's never gonna happen. You got to put that effort in, and that's important. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that, and they don't understand that. So, but yeah, it's really really important to make those plans. You know, wow, hit refresh and booted me out. What was the egg count? Awesome sauce. It was 5 today, and yes, the white hen laid. Yeah, and that's where I get up from STD. That's where STD comes from. You know, steady, steady, steady. You know, if you are have a goal, like if I have a goal here at the homestead and I want to get something done, you just peck away at it. You haven't got to do it all at once. It's there's nothing out there saying that it has to be done in this time frame, and if it's not done in that time frame, it's a failure. If you are steadily working at it, whatever it is, you know, you can do it, and it's that simple. And but I wanted to be a custodian at Hugh Hefner's mansion. I didn't make it. Well, you know, we all have goals, Dale. So yeah, it's not even there anymore. Mansion's not even there anymore. They sold it and the whole 9 yards. Getting stuck in the planning paralysis and not action phase. Exactly. Yep. And that's what I always say, people. You know, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I never do New Year's resolutions because I think that's nonsense. I have goals. That's what I do. I set goals. What do I want to do? And you know, we talked about that when we did the live stream. You know, right there, the start of the year, and you know, I have goals that I want to get accomplished this year down here, and I'm going to. It's not a matter of, well, I hope they get, you know, that we can do this, or I hope we can do that. That's not in the vocabulary, folks. That's not in the if I could speak, it's not in my vocabulary. It's due. It may take longer than we anticipated or longer than we hoped, but it will get done, and it's as simple as that. So you know, it's getting a plan, sitting down. All right, now what are we doing to execute it? So you are Woody Woodpecker in human clothing. Yeah, there you go. Again, guys, any questions or statements that you really want me to see, all cap locks, please, so it stands out. You know, analyst paralysis is what they call it. I gotcha, JBS. Thank you for that. Yeah, I just never. I don't know. Like I said, if I wanted something done, I just got at it. So, plans and goals for each year. Work hard and make it happen. Yep, yep. And there's going to be setbacks, folks. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You know. Dawn says the thing is you can never find yourself no matter what everyone else says. Yeah, because their opinions don't mean anything. Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got one, you know. And just because somebody tells you you're not going to do this or you're not going to do that, you're not going to be successful, you know, you can take that in and you can, you know, see, here's what I like to do. I take that, the negativity, and I use that as motivation. Oh, you don't think I can do that? Okay. What is my most favorite saying, guys? You guys know what my most favorite saying since I got on YouTube and everybody told me what I can't do and what I can't accomplish? My favorite saying of all time is watch me. Yep, watch me. Because you know what? Whatever you want to say, but when I go ahead and do exactly what I said I'm going to do and accomplish exactly what I said I'm going to accomplish, then what do you got to say then? That's the best way, folks. I'm telling you right now. Anybody in your families, all those people that are negative and say negative things and said you can't do this or you can't accomplish that, just do it. And you don't even have to go back. You don't even have to go back and say, "Ha, what do you think now?" Because they got nothing to say. They got nothing to say. Like, I'll give you two things that are going to happen this year. this year at the homestead. Two things that are going to happen, right? We're going to get rain catchment set up. We may not get all the rain catchment set up that we want, but we will have rain catchment set up this year. That I guarantee you. That will happen this year. The second thing that will happen this year is we will get at least one, if not more, greenhouse in this year. So that's another goal that we have. And I definitely want more than one. So YouTube, this is your warning. Stop messing with Ed Stream. It's just that's part of the game, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So, but I just I'd tell him to offend me. I must first value your opinion. Oh, there you go. That's awesome. I like that, Okie Forge. Yeah, and again, people can say whatever they want to say. It doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it right. I will never forget. We had four of us all grew up right around the same age, all within 2 years. Myself, my cousin Doug, who's 2 months older than me, and then my cousin Terry, who is um, like he'll turn. Actually, he just did. He just turned, or is it? Wait, when's his birthday? I think his birthday is the 8th. I think his birthday is tomorrow. So my cousin Terry will be 60 years old. I think it's tomorrow. And then Doug will turn 59 in April. I'll be 59 in June. And then my sister in September, she will be 58. So there's a 15 months difference in our age. So we all grew up together. And mom had a friend of hers who was a lawyer. And, they hung out for years and they talked and everything like that. Well, I was the one that was not supposed to accomplish squat. I will tell you, true statement, true statement. My mom said this to my stepfather when I was younger. She said, I can't worry about Eddie because he will either be dead or in prison by the time he's 30. All right. So, yeah, that's what she said. Because and you know what, folks, I'll tell you right now, I was on that path. I was on that path. Her evaluation at that point with the things that I was doing and everything, she was not wrong. So I don't want you to think, oh my God, I can't believe your mom would say that. No, I can because I was on that path. But the reality is, again, we are all each the captain of our own ship, and we can make decisions. And when you decide to change what you're doing and follow a different path, I ended up, and I'm not trying to brag by saying this, but I was probably the most successful of all four of us. And when my mom told this guy's name was Bernie, when she told Bernie, she goes, "Yeah, you're not going to believe this." And he was like, "Ed, your son," and because I was not supposed to be the one, But again, it's a choice that we make, and it boils down three things, folks. Everything in life boils down to three things. And if you think I'm wrong on this, um, yeah, her mom's bad cooking made me this way. That's right. That's right. Comes down to three things: people, places, and things. And that's it. Those three things. It's the people you're hanging out with, it's the things that you're doing, in the places that you are. If you are in the wrong place at the right time with the wrong people doing the wrong stuff, you're going to get jammed up. And, that jammed up could be anything to being shot, going to prison, all those type of things. It all comes down to the choices that we make. And I'm going back in the day when you did things wrong and they actually put you in jail, not like today where they have the catch and release program where these scumbag lowlifes can go out and steal everything that's not nailed down and get away with it and not go to jail. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about when I was growing up, that if you crossed the police, you got what I like to affectionately call an attitude readjustment, and they would not get in trouble for giving you that attitude readjustment. So you didn't screw with the police back then, But it's just it's amazing to me how everything goes. But it always comes, like I said, if you're hanging out with the wrong people, you got a lot better chance of getting caught up in something. Choosing to hang out with people that are positive, have a positive mindset, goals, and have aspirations, um, you're going to be more motivated to want to be like that as well. And that's what it comes down to. It's those three simple things, and it's always your choice. That's the best part. It's never too late. That's the other thing that's awesome. So with you're around somebody that is constantly negative, constantly. Everything is gloom and doom. The glass is half empty. Oh, woe is me. That will suck the life out of you. It really, really will. It will suck the life right out of you, and it's no fun. They're no fun to be around. People don't want to be around people like that. So we have a choice. You know. So I know, JJ, you guys are so pushy with this being on time with stuff. You guys are fine. I'm just giving you a hard time. All right. So, hello, Ed from Wisconsin. You're getting more winter weather than we are in the central Wisconsin. Well, yeah, we've already had more snow here this year than we did for the entire season of last year. So, but it's not bad. I mean, it hasn't been terrible. So, I mean, I can't complain. Like, it's not like, again, it ain't gonna. At the end of the year, New York will have more snow than we will have here in West Virginia. But anyway, again, if you have not shot a thumbs up, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, thank you ahead of time. Also, again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you for that as well. All right. Starting out with Heavenly Hills Homestead. Uh, Growing giant vegetables. Ryan's a real good guy. Definitely go show him some support. You have Icky Can up in Canada, living off grid up there, doing his thing. Really fun to watch what he's doing up there. You have Angry Prepper. That is Jason down in New York City. Jason's a good guy. A lot of good information. Definitely check out Jason. Rudy, Alaska Prepper. Another good guy. Good channel. A lot of good information there as well. You have Alaska Granny. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels. Really interesting information with him living up in Canada, building off grid and doing his thing up there. A lot of fun to watch him. You have Demcat. I like Demcat as well. I think he's down in Kentucky now, if I'm not mistaken, but he's definitely doing good. You have Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. There's 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. You have Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, an interesting story. Definitely worth the listen to there. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast doing their thing out there. Another good channel. There is Marfugal, or I just did them. Magic Prepper in North Dakota. Wrangle Star. That's Cody, another good guy. A lot of great information on his channel. Definitely worth to listen to. There is Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily coming from Europe, giving us all the information of what's going on over there. There is Kyle's Cabin, Kyle and Sierra doing their thing up in Minnesota, and definitely worth to listen to. They're also living off grid. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband and wife team, two different channels. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. A lot of fun to watch what they're doing. You have Green Greg's, another good guy. There is Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. Definitely check him out as well. There's Gray Man Prepping. You have Truly Tara, who does makeup videos. Truly Tara 76. Because I guess there's a Truly Tara, and she's Truly Tara 76. So, but yeah, for the ladies out there, if you show her some support, I would appreciate that. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around a long time. A lot of good information on their channel as well. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there living off grid. There is the Green Dream Project out in Arizona, showing you what it's like to live in the desert. There is Camping with Steve Wallace, who does stealth camping. A lot of fun to watch what he does. It's just more entertainment. Bush Doctor Survival. There's Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. Another good channel. A lot of good information on her channel. There is Boss of the Swamp, another master builder. Really fun to watch him build. I wish I had those same kind of skill sets. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch project. Diamond is a smart guy as well. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum and stuff like that, definitely check him out. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Another straight, she says it like it is, and I like that. There is City Prepper. You have Illumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, giving you all the latest of what's going on with the sun, with sun flares and everything like that. Really interesting channel. There's Bear Independent. You have the Uneducated Economist. There's Bushcraft Bear down in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest information of what's going on with Yellowstone and all the earthquakes and everything else. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a great guy, very passionate about the weather, and he gives back to the community in a huge way, and I think that that's awesome. There's also Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand as well. He gives you the information. He doesn't tell you what to think. He lets you decide if you want to believe it or not, and I think that that's awesome. There is Deep South Homestead, a very family-friendly oriented channel as well. A lot of good stuff on their channel. You have The Outsider up in Maine, Betting on Alaska. The young man doing his series up there, starting his journey living off-grid up in Alaska. Uh, Give him a lot of credit, and he's learning, and I think that's important. You have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed. There's also Townsends. Townsends is another good channel, and really good information on that channel showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. There is The Prepared Mind. You have Pinball Preparedness coming at you from Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. There is the Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Griddy. Another channel down in Tennessee, a young couple following their journey down there. There's a lot of good information, a lot of good channels out there. I think it's important that we look at the different perspectives and the way people look at things. I think that is important as well. And diverse ideas is not a bad thing. So that's why I do the shout outs, and I think we should be supporting each other. I've always felt that. I thought that was always important. So anyway, so that is that. And I'm going to get another drink. Again, guys, the biggest thing for me is I don't want you guys to be victims. I want you to be proactive. I don't want you to be having to sit in line with thousands of your closest friends, sheltering with thousands of your closest friends. The more independent that we can be, the better off we're going to be in the long run. The more prepared you are, the better your chances of surviving whatever will happen will be. And so, I think that that's really important. So that's why I will always encourage you to be proactive and do that. Ed, you guys have another storm on the way like Wednesday. Yeah, I saw that, but they're not really calling for a lot of snow at this point. So I haven't seen anything going, oh my God, you guys are going to get hammered. So, I mean, the first one, we were supposed to get a half inch, and we didn't even get that. We got the ice. You know what I mean? We got the ice. That's what we got. So, but, like I said, again, prepare the best way that you can. Do what you need to do. Take care of your business, and you're going to be better off for it in the long run. That's what I'm going to always encourage. Life is short, and there's no reason to die because of stupidity, to be honest with you. And there's no excuses not to be proactive, to put yourself in a situation. Again, when I talk about a 2 week supply of food and water, which is not a lot of money, it's not going to cost you a lot to put yourself in that. 4 to 8 inches at the New York homestead. No, I think they got. I talked to Heather. Excuse me. I think that they said that there was like 3 inches they got with that storm that came through. It was more of a coastal thing. I think that got more of the the front of that storm. So we're getting a lot of snow here in Palatica, Idaho. Well, you're in an area, Janita, where you guys get hit a lot, though. There's the difference, you know. So yeah, Idaho gets hit. North, South Dakota, they get hit pretty hard up there too. Colorado gets really hit pretty hard, especially when you get up to the higher elevations. So, but anyway, Ed, what do you think about the magnetic pole shift, the suspicious zero we've been talking about? You know what? There is been a lot of talk about that. I got to be careful what I say on here, um, just because I don't want to be, them to come back and say, "Oh, well, you were giving out false information." I'm not trying to give false information. Um, I will put it like this: what he is saying, I'm kind of aligned with his what he's saying. Okay, with the magnetic shift. There's a lot of stuff going on that they don't understand, that they don't know why it happens. But there's been talk of this pole shift for a long time. There is a lot of evidence out there about it as well. So I will just put it like that. Syracuse got 10 inches. Syracuse usually gets a lot of snow every season. There was a lot of years where Syracuse, they call it the golden whatever like award for the cities up there, for Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse. And Syracuse was usually the one that got the most snow on most years. So anyway, guys, let's do this. We are Legion. We are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? We got Franklin County, Ohio. There is Sean, the Englishman from Chatham, Ontario, Canada. West coast of Florida with Kit. Northern Virginia with Robert. Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. Omaha, Nebraska with Larry. Central Ohio, Iowa, with Robert. BC, Canada with Emil. Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol. Full of Hope over in Ireland. Ulster Park, New York with Francine. Leesburg, Florida with Joan. Palatica, Idaho with Janita. BC, Canada with Janet. We have Ozark Meadows, Illinois with Katrina. Missouri in the Ozarks with Delbert. We have Arkansas with Lady Kicks. Texas with Dust Devil. Oklahoma with Our Cabin in the Woods. Connecticut with Awesome Sauce. Nova Scotia. Inverness, Florida with Clyde and, oh no, that's not Clyde. That is Rhonda. Hold on a second. Somebody else from Inverness, Florida. No, that's Clyde. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, that's Clyde. Okay, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Sorry. uh, we have California in the house with Denise, UP of Michigan with Dawn, just east of Indy in Indiana with Susan. We have, it's Clyde's neighbor, right? Waterloo, New York with Sharon. Hudson Valley, New York with Dana. Our egg count winner for the night. Southwest Oklahoma with Richard. Washington State. So again, guys, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge network of people. We're the ones that can make a difference now. We are definitely the ones that can make a difference after an event, because we will have the knowledge, the skill set to be able to educate people to help them that way. And I think that that's important, and we should try to do that. Uh, you know, it, I'm not I'm not asking you to give up preps that would be the difference of you living or not, but I think we should try to help people if we can. If you can't, then you can't. So, snowy central New York with Village Homestead. Yep, you got hit pretty good. So, anyway, folks, just stay steady, steady the course. Don't become distracted. They always throw in the next distraction at us. That's what they like to do. We just have to focus on what we can control. Whatever our government decides is going to happen, what we're going to get involved with around the world, there's not much we can do about that. Uh, but like I said, we can prepare the best way that we possibly can here at home and be ready for whatever may happen. Because I will say this: I don't make predictions of what it's going to be, but there will definitely be something else coming down the road. Because there always is, whatever that may be. I don't know. I have ideas what I think something could happen, but I definitely want, there's things that I fear more than other things. So, you know, snowy Massachusetts, very nice. So anyway, guys, what are we at? 273, very nice. I don't think I hadn't asked a lot tonight for thumbs up. But so that is that. But anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Um, don't fall for. Let's all go to the Superdome and wait for the cavalry. Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely awesome job keeping the chat clean. Very appreciative of what you guys do for me, ladies and gentlemen. Keeping an eye on things. It means a lot to me. I want to thank all you guys for being here and being part of it as well. These chats are a lot of fun. We share good information, and I think about all of that there. So, but we just got to, like I said, we just take care of our business, and as long as we do that, we're going to be in a lot better shape than most people, and that's what you're looking for, the edge. You're looking for that advantage, and I think that that's important that we try to get it any way that we possibly can. And to me, it's not hard. It's not hard to get that advantage. You get a couple weeks worth of food and water on hand and start prepping some other things, and you're going to be in much better shape than the majority of the people. So, but anyway, yeah, most likely is a power out. The most likely scenario, prepared family, I believe that will be a power outage. It's going to cause the most damage. It's going to cost the most lives, especially if it's an extended event. you know, uh, we will see a great reduction in the population in that case. Great reduction in the population. So, anyway, remember, folks, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. Uh, Race, religion, political affiliation, none of it means anything. None of it means anything. We had flu 2 weeks. Husband tried to work ER tonight. Hope he's okay. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. Be safe. No job is worth your life. Remember that. No job is worth your life. Because here's the other thing I will say with that: you die tomorrow, they replace you the next day because they don't care. So, no job is worth giving your life for. So, anyway, also remember, guys, to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, STD: step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. If you set realistic goals and then set about to making them happen, you can accomplish anything that you want to. All right. And that's just a fact. Stay away from negative people trying to bring you down, telling you what you can't accomplish. Their opinions mean nothing. They're miserable and they want you to be miserable as well. Choose not to be. That's just, that's the reality of it. Be safe, everybody. Keep prepping. Take care of your business. I hope this year is great for all of us. I have a feeling that it's going to be a scary year. I hope I'm wrong. you know, and we're just going to keep doing what we do down here. Hope you continue to follow our journey and watch what we're doing. It's going to be a busy, busy year down here this year. So it'll be fun. All right. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.